The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my shows Monday through Friday from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, and then from 10 until 11 on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham and on News Radio 1440 a.m. down in Montgomery, and then later on 3 to 4 on the UMP in Huntsville. With me, as always, Mecca Music. She is the CEO of 256today.com. Smart news for smart people. Smart enough to know that Freeda Womb is a ridiculous thing, and we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. Ivey will be with us. We'll talk with him about his home state marijuana, which is definitely something I'm sure he wants to get into. And then I've got a parting shot for you about Hitler. So it should be a lot of, yes, I know, should be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into the 2-minute warning. All right, Mecca, we can talk about polls. We can talk about prediction markets. We can talk about electoral college predictors. We can do all of that, but the momentum is clearly in one guy's favor, and that is Donald Trump. We are starting to see, I think, this race maybe get into its final form. There is a week and some change left in this, depending on when you are consuming this program. What's interesting about this is a couple of things have happened over the course of this race. Donald Trump was stomping Joe Biden. Then Donald Trump stopped Joe Biden at a debate. Kamala Harris emerged, and people said, ooh, not Donald Trump and not Joe Biden. I like that. And then they go, wait a second, Kamala Harris? I don't like that. And we're just starting to see the trends go like this, and Donald Trump is hitting a little upswing here. I already gave you the answer here, so let's try this. Who's winning, Mecca?
I agree with you. I agree with you. The momentum is definitely with Trump right now. But we have to keep in mind, all these polls, they're all within the margin of error. It's so close. They're all within the margin of error. What's interesting to me, well, there's so many factors that are interesting to me, but, historically, Trump voters his numbers have pulled lower than they actually come. Is that going to happen again? Is the blue wall going to crumble? I mean,
we have
in the Senate races,
abnormality like 2022, like that. The Senate races. Early voting. This is what I thought is interesting. Nevada is a swing state, or Nevada, depending on how you say it, is a swing state.
Nevada, don't say it the other way.
Okay, so that state is a swing state, and Republicans are actually doing better than Democrats in that state. Same thing in North Carolina, they're doing better. If you're a Democrat and you're looking at that, you're going, okay, we got a problem. Also, other things happened. Kamala Harris had a debate with herself on CNN, and she lost. And it was not
debate with herself.
Yes, it was that town hall she did. She took a huge L there, and just the more they're seeing of her, the more they don't like. And I mentioned I'll talk about Hitler later. We can mention it sort of here. I thought it was interesting in 2016 when they said that he liked Hitler and was Hitler, and then they did it in 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Is this where they get him? Like with the Hitler thing? I mean, it's so weird. I will talk about it later, but it just, anyone that's going to be like, Hitler, I think that decision's already made, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, obviously, it's just part of the speak, part of the spin.
Yeah, and it's just a very weird thing to be watching happening.
Yeah, so, I don't think it's effective, if that's what you're asking.
I think it's almost detrimental.
Yeah.
Like, I think it has like a law of diminishing returns has actually hit the other way. Like Donald Trump should be like, he should go out into a crowd and be like, I heard Trump talk about Hitler, I heard Trump talk about Hitler, and then people start talking about it, and it'll help.
I don't know. That might be too far.
Okay, maybe too far there. But at this particular point in time, this is one of those. Donald Trump will always be this person that has the strangest election. In 2016, he came on strong at the end. It looks like where we are now. In 2020, it seemed like a foregone conclusion that he was going to lose, and he did. So what are we looking at here? I guess we'll find out as we move a little bit forward. All right, Freeda Womb. This is Freeda Womb. Like it's a play on words, and it's just incredibly powerful, or it's powerfully cringe. Whichever one you may think that it is, one of those is right and one of them is wrong. It's cringe. There is no question about it. But a giant inflatable IUD came to the state of Alabama this week. and candidates were actually lining up to pose with it and go to places where it was going to appear. Shamari figures in District 2 in that congressional race. He does not need this. This is not his audience. He does not need to go down there. Maybe just went there to shake hands and stuff. He stayed out of frame of that thing, possibly. Then you have Marilyn Lands in North Alabama. She is a state legislator who the New York Times said was basically going to be the beginning of the end of abortion restrictions in the South when she won her state House seat, which is not in any way, shape, or form true. Mecca.
Yes. Yes.
I know you hate the pun and the topic and everything
all
about
of it. All of it.
Okay, I know you do. But I find this to be almost borderline insulting to women. Be like, ladies, you want to buy? Here's a giant IUD. It's like going up to a guy and being like, you like football? Do you like football? And it's just, it's weird and cringe to do.
Okay, since you're forcing me to talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, listen, I think a lot of people support access to contraceptions.
The anti-contraception group is not that large. Who's the other side? But, it's like, we should have IUDs. Okay, go right ahead. I mean,
but if you're asking powerful cringe, I will have to agree this is kind of cringe, but here we are talking about it. So is it effective? Apparently so.
I mean, I do a lot of stupid things.
No, that's true.
I don't know if I want people talking about them all the time. It's unnecessary. I just don't think it was. Now, I know the truth here. This is the truth, and let's be serious here for a second. This is part of the IUD, IVF abortion thing. Mm-hmm. That if you talk about all of them, you can say reproductive rights, as opposed to just saying abortion.
Or access to contraceptives.
Well, no, but they care about abortion, but they want to bundle all this stuff together and call it reproductive rights. And that's smart. But you talk about it, you don't, I mean, this is like going to a Tommy Tuberville rally and there being, condomy or something running around. I can't think of any name for a walking. Don't make me pick a name for an inflatable condom. We could just move on.
Yes.
But that'd be the equivalent. Who'd go take a picture with that thing?
I don't know.
No one. Okay.
I don't know.
Let's move on.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Meemaw. Let's talk about the governor of the great state of Alabama. Look, I've been in talk radio for a very long time. And in my business, nobody likes the government. Okay? Nobody. You're always complaining about something. Then you're always talking about what's going on and what you'd like to see better. And you find yourself sometimes in a little bit of a bubble. I'll admit that. I know that's the case. This is a super Republican state. The governor's a Republican. She's been the governor for, I think, 37 years. And it seems, which is impressive for a 240-year-old woman to be the governor that long. But the point is this. She's popular. The seventh most popular governor in the country. Most popular governor in the Southeast. I have a theory on this, and we'll get to my theory here in just a second. Why is she so popular? Because you would think there's a lot of consternation and stuff, but why is she so popular?
Okay, so my favorite part of this, I'll answer you, but my favorite part of this is you have relentlessly criticized Governor Ivey, and yet it doesn't matter. Everybody still loves her.
Yeah.
I mean, there's numerous reasons why she's still popular. She doesn't make any huge mistakes. She doesn't make any huge moves.
She also doesn't make appearances.
Yes, she does. I disagree with that. And I have seen her, and she brings the energy. She brings the.
You see her in events where she shows up.
Yeah.
She accepts an award.
She
might say some words. I went to the Alabama Republican Party dinner where I think Laura Trump was the speaker there. And then I went to the Auburn homecoming game. She gave the same speech at both.
That's fine.
No speech. She didn't speak at either of these things.
Okay, well, then you're not getting the full picture, because I have been at events where she does speak, and especially when it's issues she's passionate about, education, mental health. She is very
She's not
engaged.
doing big events. She's doing targeted events that are simple
and
to do.
And it's very effective,
Again,
apparently.
she's running a basement governorship. Okay, that's what she's doing.
So here's my question
There's nothing wrong with that. And what I was going to say is the reason why I think she's so popular because everyone's just generally happy about where the state is as a whole. But we can complain about taxes, and we can complain about COVID vaccine mandates, and all these
you're
other
the only one who blames her. Nobody else blames her.
Well, she's the governor.
I know, but it just doesn't.
So your premise is that she's not in charge?
No, my premise.
I'm just asking.
No, my premise is that she is very. She's somewhat beloved, I would say, definitely. Even people not from Alabama are like, oh, we like your governor.
Mecca, this is what I'm talking about. Everyone loves their Meemaw. And the fact that she's not out there doing other things, and she'll go out and instead just kind of appear here and there, and then wander off and you won't see her for 2 more months, that's fine. That's fine. And all the things I think have happened, she wasn't out there defending vaccine mandates and stuff like that. She's just like, this is the way it is.
Yes.
And that's it.
And that's the smart way to do it.
Apparently it is. Apparently it is. All right, let's talk about something that's not smart. Well, let's talk about how 60 Minutes edited a tape like 5 weeks ago, and people are still talking about it. Released the transcript. This is another thing hurting Kamala Harris. It looks like the media is sort of protecting her. And I think there's a lot of people in our business that believe we are living like 40 years ago. Now, the worst thing that ever happened to newspaper people and stuff like that was email addresses where people would start contacting them. And then it got worse. Well, not the worst, second worst thing. The worst thing was Twitter and stuff like this, because then I could be a jerk to them publicly. And now you feel like they have to respond, and it's a really bad thing. This is the same exact thing. 20 years ago, you do something like this, you edit this tape and you don't do it, fine. It's a day-long story amongst nerds, and that's about it. Maybe the New York Times will write an editorial saying, you should tell us what's in the transcript. Nobody thinks about it. Instead, today, it's just like, boom, boom, boom. You're getting pounded with it every day. So they, you want me to tell them what happened?
Well, let me say this has been an evolving story. But they just released, CBS just released their statement recently, it might have been this week, where they're like, yeah, we had to edit it for time constraints. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, well, and then the interview with Harris went poorly, but the big thing was they showed one clip on one show, one clip on another. That was basically the same answer, but it was edited differently. So then people are like, well, what else did you edit out of this thing? Well, it goes back to the CNN Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. They took 48 minutes of video and then aired 18 minutes. And people are going to say, well, what was the rest of the stuff? What else was there? Was Kamala Harris like freebasing cocaine or something? What's happening? I obviously don't think it is. Fox News did the exact same thing with Donald Trump and the barbershop tour that he was on with Lawrence Jones on Fox News. They just showed clips. Well, what else was happening? Release the transcript.
Absolutely.
It's that
and
simple.
here's the other thing. I mean, we both worked in the me in the news, for forever, for a long time.
I never worked in the journalism game. No, never.
But you do. You edit. You cut. You cut comments to fit a certain time frame. This happens all the time. But should it happen in a presidential race on this question without releasing the full transcript or have the availability
the
of
question
it?
was like
Absolutely
about
not. Like you just edit. If you want to edit that, you cut off the answer, but then have the rest of it.
Can I give some advice to candidates and people being interviewed?
Yes.
I've watched it happen. I've been inside radio stations and TV stations when this happen. If somebody asks you a question, answer the question and be done.
Yeah.
Don't give them a 20-minute answer because then they're going to take whatever they want out of the situation.
Exactly.
And you're not going to be able to explain, especially in TV. It's very different because like on the newscast stuff, when you give an interview and you give an answer, you're getting like 30 seconds at the most.
No, you'll get like 5 or 10 seconds.
Okay. So
5 or 10 seconds per soundbite, and they're going to get the most salacious one.
Release the transcript. You don't have that problem. It's that simple. American Music, thank you very much. We will come right back. Ivey will be with us. He's a talk show host. We'll continue right here on Alabama Politics This Week.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com. What if you could make a free phone call and reduce your car payment by as much as $83 a month? Right now, you could be paying as high as 20% interest. Your new interest rate could be reduced to as low as 2.48%. You can refinance any existing car loan or leased car and save money every month. Take 5 minutes of your time right now. Make this free phone call and learn how to save hundreds of dollars a year by refinancing your existing car loan.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
Well, welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. And with me, as always, Mecca Music. This week, our guest, Ivey from the Ivey program on WVNN from 9 until 11. We're thrilled to have him here with us, and we'll talk with him about some stuff happening in the state of Alabama and beyond. But yeah, I mean, before we get started here, I want to talk to you about some polling stuff real quick since we started the show this way. I think we all agree that it's kind of moving in the direction of Donald Trump, if it hasn't crested there already. Will there be a U-turn back in the other direction right before the polls, do you think, towards Kamala Harris?
No, unless there's some kind of really big October surprise that we just don't know anything about. I don't see why it would. That doesn't mean Kamala Harris is going to lose or something, but I don't think there's going to be any kind of big change, especially since a lot of people have already voted.
Yeah, listen, when Kamala first entered the race, we were talking about she had the momentum. What did you say, like a halo or something around her?
Yeah, she was fantastic, and they were going to boost her up, and then they learned who she was. And
so, Ivey, what do you attribute the switch in momentum? I think we all agree that it's more in Trump's camp right now. What do you attribute that to?
The momentum, I think Dale's right. We kind of found out more who Kamala Harris is, and she's just not impressive, and she never really has been. That's why her campaign in 2019 failed. They tried to do it based on sort of the hope and change model of Obama, but she's not Obama. And eventually that was going to come out, and people are going to remember fondly the Trump economy and so forth. And, you can try to say the economy is doing good now, but prices still feel too high for most people in this country, including myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's, I think, is it. People can say all they want. The stock market's doing well, which it is. Inflation's still a huge problem. Prices are not going to come down, and that's just the way people are going to view it. And you could say it's a feels thing and all this other stuff because the economy's going so great. And that's not really it. If I haven't received a 20% pay raise over the last 4 years, I'm going to feel a pinch. That's it. That's as simple as it is. So how many people do you know who got 20% pay raises? Not many over the last 4 years, because companies don't have the incentive to do that right now because the theory is the economy is bad. So it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy here that people will view the economy that way. Moving on, early voting across the country. You're from Florida. They have early voting there. You're not living in Florida anymore, obviously. But is early voting the future here? Will Alabama eventually give in?
It wouldn't surprise me. It would be kind of down. I think it would be years away. I don't think they would anytime soon. But I remember when I was in Florida, the fight was over. We're doing too much early voting, but it's not going away. It's too convenient. To me, people like it, especially the in-person early voting. I think if we're going to do early voting, it needs to be more in person, and we need to make sure that ballots are counted properly and ahead of time, so we're not waiting a week to find the election results.
Now, Ivey, I have another question about Florida. I'm sure you've been paying attention to this. There is an amendment up for vote that would legalize recreational marijuana. Now, they would be the first state in the South to do so. Do you think it's going to pass?
It definitely has a chance. I remember a couple of years ago, it was John Morgan who made a big deal about legalizing medical marijuana. And I was in Florida at the time, and I said, this is a stepping stone. This isn't about medical marijuana. They really want it to stepping stone. And he's like, no, no, no. And it seems like it's exactly what happened. The thing is, Florida's become more and more of a red state. It's more. When I was there, it was much more of a swing state because of COVID, though, and DeSantis, a lot of people moving there that are conservatives. So maybe it doesn't have as good of a chance as I would have said a couple of years ago.
I think there's a very good chance that you see a Republican election across that state where you see a lot of Republican congressmen get reelected. Maybe some seats go red, etc. Rick Scott win. All those things happen. And the abortion and the recreational marijuana bills both go in the blue direction. I think that's possible. You were there. Is that a possibility?
Oh, yeah. I think it's definitely a possibility. That's just how Florida is. And unfortunately, I'm more with you, Dale. I think this is a bad idea for our nation to go down this road. But there's bipartisan agreement. Even many Republicans think, yeah, let's just legalize it. And I think we're going to regret it in the long run.
Yeah, I rarely look at something and go, oh, everyone likes this. I usually think, oh, everyone's wrong. I mean, that's probably the right way to think about these kind of things. Why do you think the governor of the state of Alabama is so popular? 63% favorability, most popular governor in the South, including more popular than Ron DeSantis, who you mentioned before, who's gotten a lot of national attention. That may be one of the things that kind of keeps his popularity down. Why is Kay Ivey so popular?
Well, you just said it. She is not controversial. People like you and I want her to be a little bit more controversial because we want bold leadership and a new direction for many things. But a lot of people just see her as, oh, she's keeping the ship steady. The economy's going well. We don't have the corruption we used to have. And because of that, they're like, oh, I don't hate, they're like, I don't necessarily love her, but I don't hate her either. So I'll just say I like her.
Talk about Governor Ivey. Behind her is Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth. We've talked about roads a lot on this program. 65 is back into the conversation. We're hearing a little bit about that. I took a lot of heat over the last week because I guess I came on this program and I talked about the amount of money it would cost to do 65 using some bad math. It wouldn't be as expensive as I suggested, where it would be over $40 billion, roughly $40 billion. It's still going to cost billions upon billions of dollars, whether or not we factor in the Beltline in Birmingham and all these other things. Will we ever see a plan put together that says we're going to go from the Mobile to the Tennessee line, 65, and we're going to make this expanded all the way around? Is that ever going to happen? Is it going to be done in one chunk like that?
Well, it won't happen until Will Ainsworth becomes governor. It is going to take leadership from the top. My guess is it'll probably be proposed that way. Then there'll be a compromise, and we'll do a lot of it, but not the whole thing. That's kind of my guess of where this is headed. But it also depends if Trump wins and he really pushes it on the federal level. Maybe that changes. So a lot of it depends on future elections.
And whether or not you get like a federal match or something along those lines, which then
absolutely.
But again, I remind people of this all the time. We talk. It's an interstate highway. I get that, but we talk about this stuff all the time, and then we got to remember that Florida has 75, 95, I-4, I-10, all these things, and they're going to want to expand those roads too. And it's like every state has this, and we just want to do all these massive projects. And if it happens in Alabama, it's going to happen everywhere else. And I don't think people understand how expensive roads are. Maybe I overestimated how much they cost, but yeah, they're very expensive. When you start talking about dollars, if I tell you it's $20 billion to 6-lane the whole thing, or $40 billion, does that matter to the average person, or do they hear both those numbers and go, whoa, that's a lot of money?
The numbers have gotten so high when it comes to government spending on so many things. Maybe 20 to 40 doesn't matter. It seems to matter more on the state level than the federal level. It is kind of sad, though, that we're like, oh, it's too expensive. I mean, when the original interstate project was launched, I mean, we did it. It was a big, bold project across the entire country. We figured it out. And now it's like anytime you try to do anything like this, it's like, oh, it's too expensive. It takes so much time. What happened to us as a country?
I'll tell you what happened. And one of the other knocks on it's going to be is this thing that happened down in Mobile this week. Pete Buttigieg comes down to the state and unveils this whole train situation. They're still very excited about drunks being able to go back and forth from New Orleans to Mobile, which no one's going to do, by the way, and the millions of dollars they're spending there. That's why you have these problems, because they look at that and see stuff like that, and they're going to say, we need more of that. Which is more likely, a massive train system in Alabama or getting 65 widened?
I would say getting 65 widened. I don't think the train. They've been pushing that stuff for so long, and it just never seems to take off. Americans, they like their cars.
But it's because
I
this
agree
has
with
to be.
that.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
I agree with that too. I don't want to be sitting around a bunch of smelly people on a train. I would much rather be around myself in my car, listening to whatever I want to do and doing whatever I'm doing, listening to Yaffe's podcast.
It is like a quintessential American thing. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely. I agree with that. Yaffe, thank you very much. We appreciate
Thanks,
you being
Yaffe.
here. Thank you so much. The Yaffe program, you can hear him 9 to 11 on WVNN. We appreciate him being here and talking with us. Mecca is out of here, so the show obviously going to get a lot better. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics this week.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improved range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new CareWatch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The CareWatch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. The CareWatch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your CareWatch right now. Operators are standing by.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics this week. I am Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. We'll wrap up the program here with a parting shot in just 1 second. But first, let me remind you, head on over to yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for my email blast right there at yellowhammernews.com. And every day you'll get an email from me showing you the 7 things you should be talking about today. That's yellowhammernews.com. Check that out today. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to the parting shot. My party shot this week is directed at Hitler. He's bad. And I think a lot of people should say that more often because that's really, really important. And that's some of the stuff we're thinking about in 2024. And look, I hate to break this to a lot of people here. I don't think this really moves the needle anymore because a lot of people that they have referred to as Hitler or suggested were like Hitler include some of the mainstream media's favorite Republicans. George W. Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney, Barry Goldwater, all these different people. They love talking about these guys and referring to them as Hitler. And now all of a sudden they think they're going to drop this 2 weeks before an election as part of a series of October surprises, and it's going to influence anyone. This is already baked in. The only way you're going to change any minds moving from here on out is to talk about some actual policy instances and what's going to happen. Donald Trump is not going to put his political enemies in jail as much as he wants to talk about it or Kamala Harris wants to talk about it. And I don't think people really are paying attention to that. They just kind of tune that inner fighting out, and they don't like it. You want to talk about stuff that actually matters? Go right ahead and do that, and you might be able to sway people. But 3 October surprises in the last week. the whole Hitler thing. Trump is either Hitler or loves Hitler. There is the thing where he hates Mexicans and soldiers. That blew up in their face because the family said this is just not true and none of this happened. And then you had a story that was completely ignored by the mainstream media where a model alleged that Donald Trump groped her with Jeffrey Epstein. So you have all these things. This does not work on this man. You are not going to be able to do that. You've been doing it for 10 years. It's not going to work this time. You've got to be able to talk about why she is the right person to lead the country. It's not going to be about Donald Trump sucking, because I think everyone who thinks that, well, I mean, they've been thinking it forever. So what's going to change there? So it's a bad play on their part. But we get closer and closer to the election, and we'll continue right here on Alabama Politics this week. Thank you very much for being here, and we'll talk to you soon.